Hi, welcome back to the lab. Sort of. If you were at my live stream a couple days ago, then you would have seen that the very end of that stream was cut off as I got very, very sick. And some of you might have already guessed that it's possible that I contracted the quite popular illness going around these days. And yes, you would be correct. I did contract it, and I am trying to get better. Not 100%. But it took me out for a couple days. I had a very, very high fever, and my sense of smell is gone, and my taste is very on and off. There are some things I can taste and some things I can't. It seems randomized. So the last couple days have really been just survival for me, but I kind of wanted to do a video now that I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'm trying to get things under control. Here in Japan, the process is a little confusing. I did want to quickly check in as far as M.E.L is concerned. I will be continuing M.E.L, but it is going to look different than how I originally anticipated. So the original idea for M.E.L, even though I didn't put these dates anywhere, they aren't in stone, because I knew I'd probably have to fix them because I'd never done a project this large before. But yeah, I think going to mid-March is still going to happen. I have things at the end of March throughout April that need to be taken care of in the real world. So those, I'm going to have to take a break from M.E.L during that time. I can't be doing a massive project and real life stuff at the same time. I do think that I can at the very least keep going with phase 2 up through mid-March. So originally I was going to be finishing up phase 2 within a couple days from now, and then switch over to phase 3. Yeah, that's not happening. I haven't progressed at all. I'm still stuck in chapter 1 of my revision. It has not moved since that live stream because I've been purely trying to survive, and constantly, if I'm not asleep, I'm on phone calls. So I'm not even sure I'll be able to complete phase 2 by mid-March. I will try, but I'm going to be realistic here. I kind of doubt that's ever going to happen. What's probably going to happen is I'll have to take a hiatus break and then come back. When I say hiatus break, I mean a break from M.E.L as a project, a break from heavy revision. I will still be probably doing videos. Probably a lot of the videos that weren't able to get finished or done this month will probably just end up getting pushed to that time. Probably do quite a few reviews and stuff like that. So videos will be posted, but I might not be as active, and I won't be doing things like live stream stuff like that throughout that time. I'm going to be very busy. So a lot of things are going to be pre-made videos. They'll be pre-uploaded, and I'm not really going to touch them very much. So please, if you're not already subscribed and you're interested in my videos, you've enjoyed them, especially things like reviews, go ahead and click that subscribe button and bell notification, because I will be uploading more things. I've got quite a few things scripted. It's just a matter of having the time and energy to film and edit at this time. Aside from, you know, updates of the channel, I also just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the guilt I think a lot of writers feel, because I felt a lot of guilt being sick and being unable to write, and I know I'm not the only one who probably feels that way. I know quite a few artists probably feel this, and while I'm sure there's a ton of real life stuff like childhood trauma and whatnot that probably contributes, I think another probably equally part of that is just how social media in general, how it showcases art and how people do art. So social media, we all know that I've done an entire video on social media and whether or not it kills artists, and I still very much stand by that. It depends on how you use it. But at the same time, I think it does kind of get inside our heads, and we get this very strange ideology about how much work and how much time should go into something. And I think once we pass that threshold where it's taking too long, we start to feel like we're bad artists. At least I do. I think social media in general can be very toxic in this way when it comes to the artistic process. But I think this app in particular, AuthorTube in particular, has a very warped ideology of the process of a book. a lot of people on here will go from first draft to getting ready to publish within about a year, sometimes a little bit more, usually less, which even if it's your full-time job, that would be a huge strain, and I'm not entirely sure that's possible. Maybe if what you're writing is a very, very short work, so you can redraft it and revise it very quickly, you'd have to have editors that are also getting back to you very, very rapidly. And I don't necessarily think that's the most probable thing. Unless you're writing children's lit, that turnaround is just not going to be that quick. It's not really possible. So when artists talk about having like quick releases, for example, the only way you can do that and still have higher quality stuff, the only real way that I can envision, and I've talked to other artists, this seems to be the only way, is you have to create a conveyor belt system. So what happens is you have to write and complete a ton of work for years and just not get to the publication. Do the editing, do everything, get them all prepped so they're ready, and then just keep piling them so you have more and more and more and more complete works that have been edited, more and more complete stuff, and then you reach this tipping point where you think, okay, I can start the conveyor belt now and I can keep up with it. So you'll start the process of getting the stuff that's already finished published, and then while that's publishing, you'll keep going with your other projects. So you'll write new stuff, edit old stuff, write new stuff, edit old stuff. And you've got just enough buffer that you're able to keep a quick release date. And you're able to keep the quality high because the things that are actually being released are very old. They're things you've done like 5 years ago and edited 5 years ago, so they're complete. But a lot of people here on YouTube definitely aren't doing that. So for most people here on this platform, it definitely does seem like they're just creating first drafts. It's never been edited before. They do a grammar edit maybe in 1 month or so, and then boom, they start going to publication. Apparently a few creators I've heard recently are starting to talk about publication dates before they've even finished a first draft. Really confused by that. That makes absolutely no sense. I think the only people I could think of that would have a system like that would be like comic book writers. But getting back to like the guilt, I think seeing this all the time, even though we know logically that this isn't healthy, it's not a realistic way to write, I think just being surrounded by it all the time can be quite toxic, and it can really get inside your skull and make you think that this is normal when it's very much not. The normal thing is to write a first draft and then be in editing for at least a year, probably multiple years, before you get to a place where you're actually getting ready for publication. So going from that to like my guilt that I felt getting sick, like I look at my calendar and I have 4 or 5 days of just survival and nothing else. And when I look at something like that, I feel kind of guilty because I think, well, I didn't, those are days that I didn't get any writing done. I wasn't working, but I also wasn't writing. And I felt a lot of guilt about it. And I realized that I think my perception of time has been a little messed up on social media. My perception of time is, a lot messed up. It's going to take a long time for revision, and I know that. I know revision's going to take a long time. And compared to how long revision could possibly take grand total, me getting sick for a couple days, I mean, honestly, I'm very blessed that it was only a couple days. Some people have it far worse. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually pretty lucky. And this is a drop in the bucket compared to how much time I'll probably spend on the edit in total. So it's not a big deal, and it's fine, and intellectually I know it's fine, but I still had a lot of guilt about not producing more art. I think the older I get, the more I'm starting to understand what Neil Gaiman said about the writing process. If you're writing, you're writing. And if you're not writing, you're not writing. And it seems really, really simple and stupid, like really stupid because it's so simple, and yet that's very much true. I tend to, when I'm taking care of myself, sometimes I feel guilt that I'm not doing more writing, because writing is something I genuinely love, and it is where my heart is a lot of times, but sometimes I feel guilt for not doing more in it. I think we just need to make peace with there's time to write, and then there's time when you're not writing. And if you're not writing, it's okay. You're just not writing right now. Writing takes time, a lot of time, and if you need to stop to survive, do so. Your story isn't going to expire while you survive. No matter what a marketing person tries to tell you, stories don't expire. Marketing fads expire, not stories. And if you need to take longer to craft your story, to edit your story, so be it. If you need to table your story for years because it's just not the right time, do it. And I know that intellectually, but I think this was a very harsh reminder that I need to be gentler with myself and my art. So I hope all of you are super healthy and you're not going through this. This is not fun to go through, but I hope you all are doing super well and that your revision process is going quite well. And yeah, I hope to be able to do stuff with you guys again. I just don't know when that's going to be. I will continue to do M.E.L. It's just, it might not be updated quite as regularly as I originally planned. And we will still be taking a break in mid-March in order for me to do other things. Everyone's free to keep going. This is just me, my personal process of it. But thank you guys so much for coming along on the journey. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Let me know, have you guys felt this guilt of not completing more, of not doing more? And how do you try to address that? Do you try to address it, or do you just try to ignore it as long as you can like I do, which is not recommended? Don't do that. You should probably process your feelings a little bit instead of just putting them in a box and hiding them under the bed. In my defense, my bed has a really, really cool set of shelves underneath it, so it's very easy to hide things under my bed. It's very tempting. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope your time with us has been productive. Whatever form that is.